और आप सभी जानते हैं कि सुनीति मेरे संग यहाँ मेरी सहयोगिका के रूप में इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को देख रही हैं और इस पूरे प्रोग्राम में जुड़े हुए सभी शिक्षक साथियों को मेरी शुभकामनाएं और धन्यवाद। आज जैसा कि अभी आपको बताया गया कि मेरा जो टॉपिक है वो जेंडर इश्यूज पर है और न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसीज में। और जैसे कि आप सभी को पता है कि न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 जो थी उसका 29 जुलाई 2025 को 5 साल पूरे कंप्लीट हुए और अब वो समय है ये देखने का कि भाई ये जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी जिस एम को लेकर चली थी वो एम जो है, पर्पस जो है वो सॉल्व हुआ या नहीं हुआ। हम we were able to achieve those aims for which we had made this policy or not. The aim for GER was for 2030 for preschooling was that we will be able to get 100% of students to be enrolled in it. Uske baad for 2035 we had the aim for higher education that at least 50% of UG scholars, they should be enrolled in higher education. For this, even open school education, in which 2 crore students, they were connected. It was also targeted. And for this purpose, some changes were made in the existing education policies. That was of 1986. There had been the introduction of ABC, that is Academic Bank of Credit. Then we have NCFR, that is National Credit Framework. Then we have CUET, Combined Common University Entrance Test. And then we have recently a new change has been come. That is in 2026, it has been planned that CBSE board exam, they will be twice in a year in order to encourage those students who had exam phobia and they are unable to perform according to their merits. So in order to make them comfortable, if in first attempt they are unable to, then they are given second attempt in which they can again regain their merit. I think that this is a good also, and if these type of steps taken by the government in education policy, it encourages those students who are suffering from exam phobia. But one thing is clear, that they had to pass the exam, and for that facilities they had been made. Again, there is a Prakash, that is performance assessment review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development, and this is a kind of a progress card, holistic progress card. Then we have 4 years UG course, we all know, and we have free exit and entry facility in it. Then again, education should begin in our mother tongue. 3 language formula was given. Some states they opposed it, some accepted it, but mostly South Indian cities and states, they had opposed it. Now, but there are some problems for which we cannot ignore, because as far as B.Ed, that is B.Ed training is concerned, still old method is going on and new method is to be adopted for this NEP. Then again, for new method of B.Ed, 4 years B.Ed program has been made, and old B.Ed, as you know, it is for 2 years. Then they had planned to replace UGC and HECI, Higher Education Commission of India, has to be made. But even after 5 years, it is not been fulfilled. Then there is controversy also The controversy is that PM Shri college schools like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, they had refused totally to accept this kind of schooling system. Again, UGC undergraduate, UG of that is 4-year model, which has been introduced, is going to be introduced rather. Karnataka and some other states, they had refused. They are not ready to accept it, and they had made their own education models. So now, today my focus will be mainly not on each and every part of the new education policy, that what are the challenges and what are the controversy and what are the aims that still we have to fulfill and we have to attain. My focus today will be basically on the gender issues which are taken and somewhere they are ignored in new education policy. So to begin with my slide, now this is to begin with. I started my topic with the definition of education. What is education? And I think education is the fundamental element to achieve human potential and to develop an equitable and just society, and to provide all sections of society without any discrimination on any basis. Education should reflect on gender, not as an anatomical sexual division, as a social construction on the concepts of feminities and masculinities in our societies. So first of all, we will begin with missing girls. We all know that as far as aspects of gender is concerned, the primary focus of majority of education policies has always been to promote girl education. And position, and in India, though they are worshipped as goddesses, even the number of missing girls, it reflects that the Indians what really think of women. And in 2020, the report came by UNFPA. It says that 46 million girls, they are missing. Missing means they are not getting education.
प्रीति मैम, आप प्लीज अपना माइक बंद कर लीजिए. प्रीति मैम,
हेलो.
हाँ, प्रीति पांडे मैम, आप प्लीज अपना, हाँ बस हो गया. थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू.
So we see that the girls missing means not getting education, and they are also not surviving. And those who survive, the things, they become more complicated in their life every passing year. In the area of education, as we all know, that in India, female literacy rate is 53.7, though this data is of 21. But in 23, it has been increased. It is now 77%, and the male education, it is 84%. But the highest rate of education for women is in Kerala, and the lowest is in Bihar still. And government is taking initiative for girls, and basically 3 points program is there for the missing girls. First is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. It aims to improve the sex ratio at birth and promote the welfare of the girl child. Second is cultural shift, that is change societal perceptions of the girl child from a perceived burden. When a parent, they should not think that if the girl has been born, it is a burden, it is a responsibility on them. But they think that they should be treated as a valuable member of the family. And the third one is legal measures. That is, Prenatal Determination Test Act has come. It has banned abortions of girl child in the womb. So these are the steps, basically, they had been taken by the government to save these missing girls. Now, the fundamental barriers in this field is that the girl child in Indian households, they faces bias favoring the male child. We know that by birth, some advantages, some privileges they are given to the male child, and automatically the division of work has been made that these works they are to be done by the girl, and these are the works that are to be done by the girl. And in this way, Indian families they are not willing to spend much of the finance on the education of the girl child, as they think that after marriage the girl will go to the boy's house and she will serve there. Then what is the use of spending or investing money on girl? A girl are expected to learn domestic chores only, and the dropout rates for girls rises after secondary education. Is very important. Later on I'll discuss on it, that how the girls, they are given admission in the primary basis, parents they send it to girls, but after secondary education a large number of girls, they are kept at home, and the number of dropouts, it rises. Net enrollment ratio for the girls children at primary level, that is from, this is data as I told you, it's the old one, 21. In 2021 it was 88.7. now it has been increased a little bit. Then the dips to 51.93, it has raised to 70 at secondary level, and 32.6, it has been raised to 58% at higher secondary level. So you see that the increase is going, and we hope that in future we'll be able to fill this gap, and girls, they will be enrolled in a large number. Roughly, if we take in every 5 girls enrolled, 1 after class 8 is dropped. Then no availability of safe and hygienic toilets for the girls of that teenager age. And this is also one of the reasons of dropout. And this is a barrier which comes for them. And parents think that now the girl is growing up. So from security point of view also, and from hygienic point of view also, they are unwilling to send their girl in the schools. Then far distant schools and that long journey to school often poses a real threat to life and liberty for the growing up girls. And there are many cases that take place because these girl childs, they become victim when they used to go to the schools which are situated at a long distance. Those parents, they think that it is safer to keep the girl at home. In India, this pain is also, that is child marriage. And we have to face this unfortunate reality that is still in villages, 55% of girls, they married before attaining maturity. And parents think that this is the safest thing to unburden themselves by marrying the girl at a very early age. And then it also includes lack of safe transport, lack of financial support, lack of social consciousness, lack of proper facilities, unwillingness of female teachers to serve in rural areas. Now we have to make these in charge of education that their interest should be created, that they should not shirk going villages to educate girls. Because in villages, if the teacher or the tutor is female, the parents think that their girls are safer there. Then these are the 6 barriers, poverty, lack of safe private girls, that is pink toilets, they are not there, gender inequality, child marriage, violence, long distance to school. As I had all discussed it, that these are the 6 barriers to girls' education. Then in the past, an objective evaluation of earlier efforts is required to take better and more effective approaches. And government, with its strong willpower, should work in this field. It should provide better environment, funds, curriculum, teachers training, and other necessities, so that the girl children, they should feel themselves safe and secure in going to schools. As you know that this figure, it indicates that in the last you see mother education. All the streams, they come to the one point that educated mother is must. And it is very important for the development of child. And you see that as there is direct relationship between the nutritional status of children and the education of their mothers. So we have to enable women to emerge as change agents. You know that girls' education, it has been promoted by Christian missionaries in the early period. Then in India, Indian social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Ramabai, and Ram Manohar Lohia, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Vidyasagar, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, and many more people, they came and they had served here to make the path smooth for the girls' education in the struggling country like India. And even after independence, they worked a lot. We cannot ignore the comment of B.R. Ambedkar that he believed in measuring the progress of community. He says, I measure the progress of community by the degree of progress which its women have gained. And no doubt, it is true that if a woman is educated, whole family is educated. If a man is educated, only one is educated. For that, women education is very, very important, not only for the family development and for the progress of the country also. Now I'll give a cursory glance to the pre-education commissions which had been set in the India after independence, and their main points, they are there. Then we'll come, main focus, we'll put on 2020 NEP. See that the first education commission was in 1948 under the chairmanship of Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. Here the scope of women education should be increased, and it was thought that they should be given facilities, and the curriculum should be made in keeping in mind that both boys and girls are equal, and she should be respected, and she should be also indulged and included and given opportunity to participate in different educational activities. And female teachers, they should be given the same salary, equal salary like male teachers for the same work, so that women teachers, they should be encouraged and they should come forward in this work. After independence, 1968, the first national education policy came, and the more emphasis was given on girls' education. Then at that time, right from 51 to 81, women literacy rate improved from 7.39 to 24.82%. But despite the best efforts, even the contribution of women equality was not sufficient. Then in 86, again national education policy came, and this policy advocated time-bound elementary education for girls, adult education for women, with including vocational studies, professional studies, technical studies, and reorganization of other educational activity for the overall development of women. Well, there were some work which only were reserved for men. But as far as engineering, pilot, architect, in these fields too, women were introduced. And then we come to the next, that is our main focus on NEP 2020. Now, as NEP give more emphasis on quality education without any discrimination, it has given more emphasis on equal opportunity to gain education for both boys and girls. Those steps were taken by the government to bridge the gender gap and to balance admission in higher education. To provide vocational and technical education to women, the government policies, they're focused towards girl children in schools with the slogan, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. And this slogan, that has a dual goal. That is improving girls' enrollment in schools and curbing cruel practice of female feticide. The policy lays down skills like carpentry, coding, electrical, and machinery skills from class 6th onwards. So these courses was normally for men, but now they have been for girls also. And even girls, they are being equipped with these skills. Now, in para 2.5 of the policy, there is a mention of using gender activists from all communities to make the child understand the difference between gender and biological sex at the earliest. It will avoid, and that is a conflict which goes on male, female, who is better, man-oriented society, women, they play second citizen. So these type of conflicts which were in the society at present, it has been tried that these type of conflicts should be avoided and there should be gender identity, respect for gender identity. Then activists from local region, they should make their pamphlets, books in the local language so that the local language will revive. It will revive the language also and the culture also. And people, they will be able to understand them, their views and their ideas in easier way, in a comfortable manner. Now, as we know, that education is the right theme, and education is the only light which can take away the darkness of ignorance, all kind of curiosity of an adolescent child. It can be cured only by giving proper education. So, for that, we come to gender sensitization. It is an initiative at a higher education level by the UGC. It aims at more inclusive and open discussion on gender and societal expectation. This will encourage children to become more self-aware. This policy aims to set up gender inclusion fund. And this fund aims at equitable education for girls as well as gender students. Now, this GIF encourages inclusivity as well as dignity for all in the partnership with the states and local community organization. And as you all know that NEP 2020 intends to decrease the gender imbalance among teachers as well as among students, especially in rural areas. As I told you, they wanted to recruit female teachers with their meritorious background, so that, as I told you, that women, with female teacher, girls, students, they feel themselves more friendly and more secure. They can share their feelings, their doubts with the female teacher in place of male teachers. So, NEP focuses on the safety and security of school-going girls, both inside and outside of the campus. And before enlisting for yearly accreditation, it will ensure the school college campus is free from harassment, discrimination, and dominion. And this is very, very important. You know that sometimes these students, they become victim not from the alien people, but from the people whom they know very well. In homes, they are many times harassed and they are exploited by their near relatives. And the school too, but sometimes they become victim of their teachers or their ideals. And to avoid this process of yearly accreditation has been provisioned, so that every year a survey should be taken place, so that after interacting the students, especially the girls, the inspector should make conclusion and only give the report of the clean chit to the college, so that the students now, as we know that we talk about girls more because they had been the victim for a very long time. But even in these days, even boys, small boys,
कुछ टेक्निकल इशू की वजह से मैम का वीडियो रुक गया है।
जिसके बारे में मैम को बता दिया है अभी। अभी मैम ज्वाइन होंगी तुरंत ही।
And these kinds of schools, they are really a very appreciable step taken by the government. Now, this is national education policy, and I talked much about it. Everything is here clear in this page in a brief way. Now we come to the main thing, and the thing is that hurdles in assessing education. Now, this is the broad way lookout of national education policy, as I had discussed, and how the girls, they have been motivated, and what is the role of these educators, and how these educators, teachers, counselors, they will play their role in the areas which are little backward, which are set in a distant corner, where the parents or majority of the people, they are not educated. But the scene changes when we talk about urban or city areas. Even in these areas, awareness programs, they are important. And awareness programs on gender issues, they should be conducted by educational institutions like street plays, door-to-door awareness drive. And in this way, people or society will be aware of the things, the purpose of education. They will be aware of gender equality, and they will know that now in present days, girl and boy, they are equal. Girls are not burden. Now we'll see that what are the hurdles in assessing education. First of all, as I talked about gender inclusion fund, it is available to state based on the priorities decided by the center government. So center government will monitor the fund, and state has to follow the policy or instructions given to them. But in this fund, it doesn't talk of girls' education and reforms for equity. First hurdle is this. Second is that it deals with substantial increase in public investment. Now, it will be harder to convince families, for school will become unaffordable and girls will start dropping out because low-income families, they will not be able to pay fee, because with the indulging of public investment, that is, the schools will be turned into private schools. Public-private partnership, many education, many schools, they will become private, and then it will be very difficult for the people or families belonging to common background, simple background, to provide education to their children, especially for girls. And again, the dropping out will start, and we will stand from where we had began. Child marriages and child labor will increase, alienate girls from marginalized communities. They will suffer, whittling down the number of college. That is, means, consolidating of school complexes, which at present is taking place at the schools in which the number of students is decreasing, the schools which are in the interior, and they are not giving much profit to the government, and government thinks that with the little number of students, why to invest teachers there, why to give pay to those teachers where the number of students, they are very little. But this policy to merge the college in the bigger institute, it will create difficulty for girls, because again the parents will not let their girls go to those schools which are at a far distance, where there is no way of communication, transport is difficult. So in this way, what will happen? That all the efforts right from 1986 onwards in this new education policy which is taking place to provide education to girls especially, which are lacking in a large number, lagging down behind because of the facilities, because of the schools at a far off distance, their parents, they do not permit them to go to get education in the other village. So again, the problem will be here that the students, the girls, they will not be able to get education. So government has to put much attention to this problem, that if they will merge or consolidate these schools complexes, then how these girls, they will get education, and then how the aim and purpose of increasing the enrollment rate of the girls students will increase, and how the aim to provide education to the majority of girls, it will be fulfilled. Then the other hurdle is online education during COVID-19. We all know that in that pandemic, what happened, that people, as they were confined to their homes, it was difficult for the schools and colleges to stop education. For that continuity, it was thought that online education is the best way, the best method, and it was adopted. And during that time, it became very popular, and still we see that in many places it is still in vogue. So online education has become a very, very prominent feature after COVID-19. But we have to think over this problem also, that poor internet coverage in the rural areas, in villages, only report as per report, it is 8% of girls in village have access to device. Girls, especially Dalits, will be left behind due to NEP's stress on digital education. Accessibility, affordability, and patriarchal social structures are unavoidable barriers, and it is because of it more than 40% of girls, they leave school. And there is a risk that a whole generation can be wiped out. Though at present, government is government is giving and providing mobiles and tablets to UG and PG students. It's a very good step, that as the purpose of NEP is also to make education digital. Our students, they should know how to utilize these devices. But the problem here again is that in the school and colleges, Wi-Fi internet can be provided. But what will happen when they go back to school, back to home, where the family is poor, they are low, they are doing low kind of job, they are manual workers, laborers, and working or a shopkeepers. So how they will be able to use this device in the absence of internet and Wi-Fi at home? So we have to think over it before giving much emphasis on digital education. We have to think over this barrier also, that how we'll be able to cope up with this problem. Then there are some points. After going through the whole discussion, we come to this, that the policy claims to be aligned with sustainable development goal, that is gender parity, that is equality. And undoubtedly, this is the very aim of new education policy. We talk about equality, we talk about quality education, we talk about digital education, we talk about vocational education, and skill-based rather. That after getting education, each and every student should be skilled in some or the other kind of art. So we give much emphasis on these things, but we have not spoken a word on child protection against sexual abuses. Introducing vocational training in grade 6 at age of 11 years. It appears to be a calculated move to 2016 Child Labor Amendment Act, which says children can work in family enterprises after school hours. So in this way, it legitimizes child labor. We have to think over it also. And we have to make some amendment also in this act, or we have to make it very clear that vocational education or vocational training in class 6 at age 11, what they really mean and what is the motive behind it. The policy again does not talk about the extension of RT, right to education, which covers only up to children from 6 to 14 years. It has not talked about the children about 15 to 18 years. As we all know, that at present, the fundamental right, Article 21A, speaks of 6 to 14 years child had the right to education. This facility is only for 6 to 14 years old children. Then again, it is an Amendment 86, that is 2002. It has been said in DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policy. That is, क्या कहा है उन्होंने? That is, state is responsible to provide early education up to 6 years. Then we come to fundamental duties. And in fundamental duties, Article 51A, it deals with parents' responsibility to provide education up to 6 to 14 years to their children. Means parents were even bound. वो ये नहीं कह सकता कि मैं नहीं दे रहा, मेरा बेटा है, मेरा बच्चा है, मैं नहीं पढ़ाता उसे, कोई क्या कर लेगा मेरा? No, the government has made it. It is a fundamental duty of parents, and this is a responsibility of the parent, that they should provide education to their children. Even the responsibility is given to the state in DPSP. And even the fundamental right of a child is that they should get education. But we have to think that as the whole table is changed, right from that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model. In this, for 5 years is 3 to 8. That is the foundation stage. 8 to 11, preparatory stage. Then 11 to 14 years, middle stage. Then 14 to 18, secondary stage. So they had to make amendment even in RTE for this, as the age of the student or age of the child to get for the right of education has been increased to 18 years. So at present even, nobody has talked about this. Then the major challenge is transition of girls from primary to secondary. You know that the major change comes from the girls, especially from when they go from primary to secondary stage. And most of the dropouts in a large number takes place here only. So we have to think over it. We have to discuss that why such things take place, what are the reasons behind it, and why it is that we have to give more attention to this phase of the age in which a large number of girls, they drop and they are compelled to marry, or they are compelled and detained at home. Then government secondary schools, they are very low in number. And girls, they had to pay fee there also. A lack of any policy framework at an educational level for third gender. Actually, we are not discussing it, but this is a very international a matter of international discussion. They should be given some legal grounds for their recognition. Their dignity should be deserved, because they had no fault of theirs. You know? And everybody is God's child, and for no reason they suffer. So we have to think over it also. In the policy, simple and nutritious breakfast has been mentioned in midday meal system. It's okay, everybody is getting. Sometimes it is provided, sometimes it is not provided. There are many rumors, there are many news of corruption, that how that midday meal has been sold off, and how it is not keeping up that measures of hygiene. But even then, no specific emphasis on female nutrition and health and sex education has been discussed or mentioned. For female, a different kind of nutrition is needed, as when these girls, they grow, in that process of growing, male child and female child, they need a different kind of care. Care means guidance, food, and a kind of awareness. Because of the changes, that biological changes, that natural changes that comes to them, and they are bewildered, they become curious. Some they become very, very inquisitive, and in this way, it is because of their inquisitiveness, sometimes they take wrong step. So for them, this education is very important. A kind of awareness program should take place for male and female students. That is again, my next point is sex education. It will bring revolutionary improvement of the overall socio-economic position of girl, because they are the one, because they are the one who become victim of rape, child marriage, unintended pregnancy, and such type of things happen to them. So to avoid these things, it is now in present era, at present time, it has become important and necessary when we can talk openly about sanitary napkins, then why not? We should think of giving them this kind of sex awareness education. Now, these are the recommendations. That is, it is important. There is a need of gender balance in admission to higher educational institutions. The Right to Education Act exists till primary schooling years, and one of the causes of dropping means we have to make amendments in it. Then secondary level education should be brought under the purview of right to education as fundamental right. Then India has the lowest women labor force. Participation rates only 23.4. Now it has increased in 23-24 report. It is 41% now. But the growth is very, very slow. See that in 2019, it is 23.4%. And in 23-24 report, it is 41%. So therefore, a special emphasis on female employment should be given. And we need efforts that should be made in this respect. Women labor means that participation of women as a businesswoman or in the work in which at present male dominates. So in this way, they will be able to help their families also, and can help in the financial strength of their family. So training program for teachers aiming at gender sensitization should be integrated. It will help the students to understand their identity. We cannot ignore this fact that the responsibility with NEP 2020, it has increased, rather grown more for the teachers. And now teachers doesn't mean that that should come in the class, give lecture, and they go away. No. Now teacher, she has to see multiple of features, multiple works, and she is the one who can play a role model for the student in every aspect. She can be a very good friend, a confessor, and a very good teacher for the student. Now, the role of social counselors school counselors should not to be undermined. Means counselors, the role of counselors has become very important because, as we all know, that now to use rod, हम कहते थे ना कि use the rod and spoil the child. अब हम कहते हैं spoil the rod and use the child means we should not beat child and we should not give punishment to the child. We should not be harsh to them and we should rather try to understand them, their psychological problem. We should try to understand their views, their feelings. So the role of a counselor has become very important. And in the school, who is going to play the role of a counselor? Teacher herself or himself. They can be the best counselor of a student because they meet the student every day and they can very well notice the changes which are coming in the student. And after noticing that, she can call the student and can ask the reason of that change and can help her in sorting out the problem which is going on in his mind. So in this way, in schools, teachers, they can be the best counselors. And for that, they had to be trained. And even the social counselors, they should be there, will come time to time in the schools, in the colleges, and with their lectures, with their enlightening views, they can help the student to probe within and should think that whether what they are not sharing with other is still preserved in the heart, whether that thing is right or wrong, and they should follow that thing or not. So in this way, the social counselors, they can help indirectly, and teachers, counselors, they can help directly to the student to overcome his problems and difficulties. And again, the counselors can be the guiding force in terms of gender awareness, resolving issues that stem back from lack of inclusivity, the policy. In this way, you see that मैंने आपको खुद ही बता दिया, इससे पहले भी we have discussed that the role of a counselor is very important. It helps a child, whether it is girl or boy, to solve their problems. And it is they who help the children, who help the students to probe their feelings, and if they are unable to share, sometimes it happens that they are, मैंने अपने colleges में भी देखा है, अपने college में कि the girls, as my college is girls college, I've seen that the girls, these students, they are not ready to share their fears, their doubts with their parents because they are afraid. They had this fear in their heart कि अगर हमने बताया घर पे तो हो सकता है कि हमें घर पे बिठा लिया जाए, हमें स्कूल ना आने दिया जाए और फिर हमारा क्या होगा, या फिर दे फियर कि हमारे भाई वगैरह जो हैं वो हमें उल्टा डांटेंगे, दे विल ब्लेम मी, है ना, कि भाई तुम ही इसमें रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो, तुम्हें ऐसे करना नहीं चाहिए, तो तुम वहां गई क्यों थी, तुमसे उस लड़के ने अगर ऐसा कहा है तो क्यों कहा है. बट व्हेन द स्टूडेंट, इट मीन्स दैट कॉन्फिडेंस फ्रॉम द टीचर. तो क्या होता है, ग्रेजुअली, देखिए कॉन्फिडेंस एक दिन में नहीं आता, इट इज ग्रेजुअली डेवलप्ड, एंड व्हेन इट इज डेवलप्ड, then the student is able to share the fear to the teacher, and then the teacher is there to solve the problem because the student has the faith कि टीचर हमसे ये नहीं कहेगा कि तुम अपने घर जाके बैठो और स्कूल आने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो कहेगा नहीं, हम उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करवाएंगे. एंड मेनी टाइम्स वी हैड डन इट एंड वी हैड बीन सक्सेसफुल इन इट. और वो स्टूडेंट जो है वो अपने टीचर्स का बहुत थैंकफुल होता है कि उसने उनकी इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर दिया, उस टेंशन से उन्हें एक तरह से बचा दिया. So that is the thing that the role of a counselor is very, very important. Now the policy outlines provision for taking care of sexual harassment, but lays emphasis on girl child. मैंने आपको कहा कि remaining genders का क्या होगा? Now not only the girls are suffering from this sexual harassment, the other genders, they are also suffering from the same thing. So we have to think over them also, that nowadays, it is not only the problem of a girl, but it is a problem of both the genders. Then street plays, door-to-door awareness drives, they can help bring a change in societal perception towards education. अभी भी हमारे गांव वगैरह में it is there that people, they are not ready to send their children to schools. मैंने एक पेरेंट से बात की, सर कि पढ़ाने से क्या होगा, क्या ये सरकारी अफसर बन जाएगा, सरकारी नौकरी की क्या उसे गारंटी मिल जाएगी, तब तो हम इसे पढ़ाएं. तो he was talking not only for girl, he's talking about his boy also. He was not sending his boy for the school. So then I told him कि भाई पढ़ने का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि उसको सरकारी नौकरी मिले. पढ़ाई जो होती है वो इंसान को इंसान बनाती है, नहीं तो man is a social animal. But he was convinced, but not very much convinced by it, because they think that the purpose of education, to gain education, is only to do a job. And if the job guarantee is there, then they are ready to send their children to the school. So this type of problem too is faced. And for them, the awareness programs are very important. And awareness programs, that includes also the good touch and bad touch, and there is a detail for that. So the thing is, the policy should give a thorough understanding of the term gender. अब gender का जो issue है, gender का that term is there, so they have to think of it. कि gender में हम एक ही बात ले आते हैं. अगर हम कहते हैं कि महिला सशक्तिकरण की बात करें, women empowerment we talk about, तो automatically when you started giving examples, so automatically, unknowingly, we sit opposite to men. So women empowerment does not mean that we are criticizing men, we are against men. No. Women empowerment means that women is empowered only when she get respect, she gets shelter, she gets security, and she is able to preserve her identity. Only then the women is empowered. We talk about it, and even then we have the newspaper is full of the exploitation or the wrongs done to women. So as we come to the conclusion, that is the policy, no doubt. It reflects a holistic approach towards the development through education. And this policy is quite different from the model of education India is familiar to or accustomed to. The policy has the scheme, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Means education means that all the students that are getting education, they should love their country. For them, Bharat is not divided into regions or states. Education should be or must be that each and every product of that school and college should love his country without any distinction of caste, creed, religion, state, or region. For it, the whole Bharat is unified, and they are the citizen of the United India, the United Bharat. For the policy, the scheme is Ek Bharat, unified, Shresth Bharat. And our aim should be for the betterment of our country. Our aim should be that how, with the knowledge that we have attained, should make our country, should make Bharat as the Vishwa Guru concept. The NEP 2020 provides for equitable access to quality education for all the students. Undoubtedly, that the aim and purpose behind was quality education, skill education. Means the students, after getting education, should not feel as if that what is it? I have attained nothing. After devoting so much of the part, a major part of my life in studying, getting education, where I am standing now, neither I am getting job, nor I am able to do any kind of business, because I am not skilled that much to do business. So that is the aim and purpose of NEP 2020 is to provide quality education for all the students. Padhega India, tabhi to badhega India. And the right implementation of the policy, as you all know, that can bring the change India needs at present. And with this holistic approach, we think that in future, India will be able to attend that summit as a teacher of the world, which it had in the past. As he was the torch bearer of the whole world, the same position, the same glory, we will be able to achieve with the help of this education policy. But we should not ignore even those shortcomings which are coming in performing the duties or in attaining the education. And we have a lot of hurdles to overcome. This is only the one aspect I've taken, that is the gender discrimination, and focusing on mainly girl student. And for this, I hope that
आपका माइक
there had been some confusion area. As the connection has been, it was disconnected. So I'm just winding up my whole speech, saying that the time will be in future that after overcoming all the hurdles, and all the shortcomings of this new education policy, I hope that India will be the torch bearer and will retain or regain its past glory of being the teacher of the world, Vishwa Guru, for which we had been renowned in the past, and how our institutions like Nalanda, Takshila, and so on, they were so uh, popular, and they had been defined as the center of enlightenment and center of knowledge, where people from far off countries, from each and every corner of the world, they come and attain education. So, with the hope that in this way, if according to the time, we will try our education adjust according to the need of the time, then no doubt the students which will gain education from India, from our institutions, they will be able to face all the challenges, and they will be the people who will lead the world, as many of our people, many of our students, they had done in the present also. So my words as concluding lines from Robert Frost are, woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So still, we have to work a lot. We have to do a hard labor in order to make this policy perfect. And really, thank you very much for the patience that you have listened to me and my lecture. If you have any query, you can ask. And the doubts. Hmm? Hmm. वहां कर दो, सबके फेसेस दिखाई दे देंगे, करो उस जगह, यहाँ सब लोग हैं. किसी को कुछ पूछना हो तो, अरे रुके रहो, नहीं वो हाथ दिखा रहे हैं उसको थाम.
आयुष्मान, आप कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं मैम से? आयुष्मान, आप मेरी बात सुन पा रहे हैं? आयुष्मान, आपने कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा है? आयुष्मान, मैम आई हैव टू क्वेश्चंस रिगार्डिंग टू टुडे.
मुझे लगता है या तो सबको बहुत समझ में आ गया है,
नहीं मैम,
या फिर बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आया है.
आयुष्मान, आप मेरी बात सुन पा रहे हैं? आयुष्मान ने मैसेज बॉक्स में 2 क्वेश्चन पूछे मैम आपसे.
जी, उन्हीं को पूछ लेने दीजिए.
हाँ, वही
है
मैं
भी प्रेजेंट या नहीं.
शायद है नहीं वो. एक मिनट, एक सेकंड.
उन्होंने कहा है कि मैं लाइब्रेरी में हूँ.
जी, अच्छा. ये मैम रिसर्च स्कॉलर हैं बीएचयू में.
अच्छा
जी. So I can't speak. Please, ma'am, answer my question. मैम
इनका क्या क्वेश्चन है?
मैम इनका क्वेश्चन है, गुड इवनिंग मैम, आई हैव 2 क्वेश्चंस regarding today's session. Question 1, if girls are being empowered through education, what kind of value based or gender sensitive education should boy receive so that they respect and support this empowerment? मैं आपको स्क्रीनशॉट लेके भेजती हूँ क्वेश्चंस की.
बीच में आवाज असल में कट गई.
मैं आपको स्क्रीनशॉट भेजती हूँ. मैम आप फोन चेक कर लीजिए प्लीज, मैंने आपको भेज दिए इनके क्वेश्चंस आपके फोन में.
अरे क्वेश्चन भेजा है बच्चे ने. The thing is, Aishman, question is, if girls are being empowered through education, what kind of value-based or gender-sensitive education should boys receive so that they respect and support this empowerment? As I told you, that if you will think of equality, if you think of gender neutrality, only then you will be able to understand that that women they are subject to respect. The thing is, we talk about women, we talk about empowering women, we talk about them that they should become more empowered, because the past is like that. When women, she needs empowered. At present, even the victim majority, they are of girls, and that is why the value based means that boys, they had to understand, they should through this education also, it is mandatory that they should be able to understand that equality is important. There should be no discrimination on the basis of gender. If you are gender sensitive, means everybody has his own identity, and you should also think, because it is अभी तक तो यही रहा है, it is a man oriented society, और इसीलिए for men is that this education system, through its awareness programs, it proposes that for boys and girls both, they should know about their identity, and they should know how to respect the identity of each other. And second question is, in today's society, both men and women share responsibilities at home and workplace. How can our education system prepare both boys and girls together for their shared roles? इसमें तो एक ही बात है बेटा, it is repeated. You see that in metropolitan cities, in big cities, with a single income, it is very difficult to maintain a status. Now, as girls, they are also educated, so they are getting jobs also. So when boys and girls both work, it is very necessary. If you wanted to enjoy that facility, then you have to cooperate also. Then when in the past only men works and women, टेनिसन के जमाने की बात करें तो महिलाएं जो है घर पे काम करती थी और पुरुष जो थे वो बाहर काम करते थे. तो the work division was there, but at present both of them they are doing, कोई किसी से कम नहीं है, दोनों जने कमा रहे हैं, both of them they are working. So men and boy and girl both have to, if they wanted to lead a good, healthy, happy life, so they had to cooperate. And that is the law of polarity. Law of polarity means that you should respect the identity of each other instead of overcoming the personality of each other. अगर आप एक दूसरे की पर्सनैलिटी पे हावी होना चाहेंगे तो डिफरेंसेस विल कम. यही बात एजुकेशन में बताई जाती है, यही बातें सब आपको सिखाई जाती हैं कि आप लोग जो एक दूसरे को रिस्पेक्ट करना सीखें. अब सब बराबर हैं. अब सेकंड सिटीजन वाली बात नहीं है कि जो यू हैव सेड, एक आदमी कहता है पहले क्या होता था, तुम ही देवता हो, है ना, वाली बात थी. तो बिकॉज यू आर मेल, you are the person who earns, provide food, provide security. So इसलिए everything is handled by you. Your decisions, they are the final. But now it is not so. The things are changing. And when this is a transition period. And in this transition period, You have to understand each other. And this new education policy, it has given opportunity, as I told you, that right from the class 6, a vocational education in different skills, which were previously reserved for boys. But now you see that even in our country, there were many places where women were prohibited. But now women, they are entering there also. तो नेवल में, नौसेनाओं में, बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स में, है ना, पायलट, आर्किटेक्ट. तो दे आर इवन इन गायनी. पहले विमेन के लिए गायनी एक मानी जाती थी कि दिस इज अ रिजर्व्ड फॉर गर्ल्स, लेकिन अब ऐसा नहीं. ऑर्थोपेडिक्स में जा रही हैं, सर्जरी में विमेन दे आर गोइंग. तो थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग. तो महिलाओं को बराबरी का दर्जा देना होगा. थोड़ा अपना विजन, यू हैव टू बी ब्रॉडन. You have to broaden your vision and outlook, है ना. थोड़ा open hearted होना पड़ेगा. Now this is the answer. Next, anyone else?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Dr. Akshat this side from North Cap University, Gurgaon. Very relevant topic on gender inclusion. But nowadays, if you would have seen in metropolitans, there is another concern which you might have witnessed on the other side. Although I accept this fact, this is a male-dominated society, but still there are instances where the laws that meant to protect women are used against males. In particular, you might have heard about.
देखो,
so
thing is,
gender equality wise means this sensitization definitely should be there towards male society, but also this is, like you can say, in name of empowering women. It should not mean, it should be, the law should treat, like law should also treat equally.
One thing, देखो सही बात कही तुमने कि देखो there is a use and misuse of
true
law.
Gender inclusion will happen only when the law treats equally to all the oppressed ones. I'll say.
नहीं, one thing is कि there is a use and misuse of law. Agree ना? लेकिन the thing is कि law is made in favor of weaker person. उनको सुरक्षित करने के लिए हम बनाते हैं. अब आजकल की स्थिति देख लो, लॉ इज इन फेवर ऑफ एनिमल्स. आपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट का देखा होगा, 10 दिन में जानवर के लिए तो आ गया डिसीजन. इंसान जो है पूरी उम्र लड़ता रहता है केस, उसका डिसीजन नहीं आ पाता. बट विद इन 10 days फॉर इन द फेवर ऑफ एनिमल्स इट केम. तो व्हाट यू विल से, है ना. द थिंग इज कि नो डाउट law is thinking that not only women they are exploited and aggrieved, man is also aggrieved. इसीलिए उसमें वो धीरे धीरे चेंजेस ला रहे हैं लॉ में कि दहेज में पहले होता था इफ इट इज सेड तो जेल में गए, बेल नहीं होगी. अब ऐसा नहीं है. यू हैव टू प्रूव इट, ओनली देन द फैमिली विल गो. तो देयर इज यूज एंड मिसयूज ऑफ एवरीथिंग ना. तो हम उसे एकदम एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में डिवाइड नहीं कर सकते. इफ यू हैड नॉट मिसयूज्ड इट, भाई अगर ये सब चीजें नहीं होती डाउरी वाउरी की, तो हमारे कानून ही नहीं बनता इसके लिए. राजा राम मोहन राय क्यों परेशान होते, ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर क्यों परेशान होते, है ना. इट वॉज मेड इन द टाइम ऑफ ब्रिटिशर्स. ओके, तो हमारे आज तक चल रहा है और अभी भी हमारे पास विक्टिम्स हैं, है ना, डाउरी के. तो ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन ये कि कभी कभी गलत भी इस्तेमाल होता है. तो हु इज गोइंग टू टेक दैट लायबिलिटी. तो अब कानून बन रहा है कि अगर महिला ने भी गलत बात की है तो शी इज लायबल, उसको जवाब देना होगा. शी विल बी फाइंड, शी विल बी पनिश्ड. तो उसको भी उस चीज को फेस करना होगा. ऐसी बात नहीं है, धीरे धीरे बन रहा है. इक्वालिटी की तरफ हम आ रहे हैं.
And to the generation that is there right now, working women who all are there, मतलब ये change तभी आएगा when everyone of us will imbibe that change. And means when your children grow up, you have to sensitize them to be equal. You have to be as receptive as for your daughter-in-laws, that they are equal, treating son and daughter-in-law as equal, not कि वो दूसरे घर की बेटी है तो, because women is in the key, मतलब घर को तो if you say the home minister is only women. Unless until so that feeling should be imbibed by each and everyone. जब तक बच्चों को वो value system inculcate नहीं होगा तो that thing will not move. Thanks for the session, ma'am. Very informative. I was surprised on the data that you shared, that 4.6 crore women have been missing. It was shocking to listen to that. Means
These data, means my data which were printed here, they were from 1921.
Huh.
And then I had amended it also in my speech.
in
that from
but
21
in
to
that
23,
when I searched for that 4 lakh
बहुत ज्यादा अभी बहुत ज्यादा भी अंतर नहीं आया है, लेकिन आ रहा है. It's
नहीं,
good.
लेकिन 2013 से 17 के बीच में 4,60,000 बच्चियां मतलब फिटोसाइड या जिसके भी कारण देवर मिसिंग. ये मैंने और थोड़ा रिसर्च किया तो आई कि
मैंने देखी वो टॉपिक नहीं छुआ, मैं तो एजुकेशन को कन्फाइन करा. अदरवाइज इट इज अनएंडिंग आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, अनएंडिंग इसके अंदर चीजें हैं.
बट हाँ,
If
दिस
we start picking it
sensitization is required.
तो आई फोकस्ड इट ओनली ऑन एजुकेशन एंड न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. कभी मौका मिलेगा तो वीमेन एम्पावरमेंट पे बात करेंगे.
Nice session.
Ma'am,
Thank
to
you.
all of you.
Okay.
I will also add on, ma'am. मेरे को लगता है कि जो जेंडर इक्वालिटी वो तभी बन पाएगी वी ऑल ऑफ देम जब तक हम अपने थॉट्स को चेंज नहीं करेंगे. हम एडुकेटेड है एवरीबडी, हम अच्छी प्रॉस्पेरिटी फैमिली से लोग करते. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो गरीबी है वहीं पर चल रही है मैम. डोरी बड़े घरों में, रॉयल्स घर में भी प्रॉब्लम, सेम कंडीशन.
देखिए जो सर्वे है ना,
आई एग्री, बट स्टार्टिंग हमें करनी पड़ेगी कहीं ना कहीं.
मैम सर्वे जो बताता है वो बताता है कि गांव की लड़कियां इतनी विक्टिम नहीं है जितनी शहर की लड़कियां विक्टिम होती हैं डाउरी के लिए. तो ऐसा नहीं है, ये खैर अलग विषय है. वी आर कन्फाइंड ऑन विमेन एजुकेशन शॉर्टकमिंग्स एंड हाउ इक्वालिटी शुड बी देयर, और जो ड्रॉप आउट रेट्स हैं उन्हें हम कैसे कम करें, है ना. उन एस्पेक्ट्स को हमने लिया है. तो कोशिश की है कि इन चीजों की तरफ भी ध्यान जाए. जो चीजें वी आर मिसिंग वी शुड गिव एम्फेसिस ऑन इट. क्योंकि रिसेंटली जो आपको देखिए कि जो स्कूल्स जो हैं उनको वो कंसोलिडेट कर रहे हैं, है ना.
Yes, I mean, यूपी हो रहा है, यूपी में it will be held on there.
तो पहले द पर्पस वाज कि गांव के इंटीरियर में अंदर स्कूल्स कॉलेजेस खोले जाएं बच्चों के लिए, जिससे लड़कियां स्पेशली निकल कर वहां पर पढ़ाई कर सके. है ना. तो वुमेन एजुकेशन के रेट को बढ़ाने के लिए तो किए जा रहे थे. नाउ यू आर कमिंग बैक अगेन कि वहां पर हमारा ये देख रहे हैं कि हाउ मच मनी वी आर स्पेंडिंग ऑन द टीचर्स एंड द रिजल्ट इज नॉट लाइक दिस. तो एजुकेशन इज नॉट अ बिजनेस. Education is a
new case. I have read in the social media. तेलंगाना में एक ही बच्चा, एक ही गर्ल्स स्टूडेंट है जो पढ़ने आती है और एक ही टीचर उसको पढ़ाती है, और स्कूल में, पूरे स्कूल में वो अकेली रहती है. देखिए, और उसको सारे सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाए जाते हैं. तो जब वहां अमेंडमेंट हो सकता है, वो भी तो भारत का पार्ट है. इट्स ऑल द पार्ट ऑफ
बंद करके आसपास के गांव में एक बना दे रहे हैं. तो फिर समस्या वही है, parents will not send their daughters to that place.
Distance का फिर इशू आएगा.
Distance is very
same as
that is the thing. हाँ. चलो.
Thank you, ma'am, giving a good data and your conversation also. Thanks for the. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Now,
Anuradha ma'am.
Am I audible?
हाँ.